My name is Chrisette Michele.
And I'm Doug Ellison.
And we met in college 13 years ago. In New York.
Long Island.
Long Island.
The first time I saw Chrisette, she was getting off of a bus coming to school. And she had red hair, some Timberland boots, some jeans, and a raincoat. I said, who is that? You know, but I didn't approach her or anything like that. I figured I would see her again on campus. The first time we actually met was in the lunchroom. On Valentine's Day. She was at the piano and she was singing a song in the lunchroom.
So he saw me singing A Woman Wants to Feel Special, and I was doing it a cappella with some of my friends.
And she said she didn't have a Valentine. So I went and bought her some flowers.
Yeah. He just walked up to me randomly, he's like, you shouldn't be alone on Valentine's Day. He gave me roses. And then he gave me other stuff.
Just friends at first. We spent a lot of time getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And as we got to know each other, we realized that I knew it from the very beginning. I tell it to this day, like when I met her, I was like, okay, this is the wife, you know? So we spent a lot of time, and then we got involved in music.
He's like, I can get you signed to a deal. So he said, give me 1 year and I'll have you signed. And how many months was it? Like 3 months. We were signed to Def Jam, and we had gotten our first writing publishing deal. Was now Sony, but back then it was called EMI. We had made $1 million as kids. So that's how we started our music relationship.
Right. When you make $1 million, and you're kids, people tend to think that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So they have opinions. When you just get into the industry, although I had, some experience in the business, dealing with somebody that you have these feelings and relationships for, it immediately turned into my biggest fear. People feeling like because we were dating, I was taking advantage of her. So the first thing people did to kind of get in between us was to get into our business, and it was the worst thing that ever happened. But now you have all these other people that feel like we're the new money, and they want to get involved, and the only way they can get involved is to get in between us. And that's exactly what they did.
It was really scary. We ended up hiring, lawyers, and then we ended up hiring litigators, and then we ended up in court, and for 7 years we fought.
We didn't fight, litigators fought.
Litigators fought, we didn't speak.
They told us not, and that was like the worst thing that could ever happen, because it left her interpretation of what she saw was going on. So her only impression was like I was this monster that came out of nowhere, and it was this stark difference from who and what she had known for 6 or 7 years before. And the same thing on my end. They're like, you can't talk to her. It was like a divorce.
And a lot of the songs like Blame It On Me were songs saying, look, just can this court case be over? Like, a lot of my music was from a broken heart, for real. I get on this TV show, R&B Divas Los Angeles. I get this big deal with Capitol Records for Rich Hipster Records. And all of a sudden, I said, Mom, just don't book me anymore, events. Like, don't book anything. And I went to Target and I bought a bunch of pajamas, and I stayed in my mom's basement for a little while. And I got on my face before the Lord, and I was just like, God, I don't like the way that I feel. I feel empty, I feel broken, I feel like something's missing. I sit down with Kirk Franklin, and he's like, yo, that's how he talks. Yo, son, you don't understand. Like, you need a husband, yo. He's like, you need a man to cover you, not son. He's like, I'm gonna pray for you that you get this husband. So I go back home and I said, Mom, you know what's crazy? Like, I still love Doug. So I write Doug a letter, and he writes me back, and he's like, I never stopped loving you. And I'm like, I'm on the treadmill at this point, and I'm like, get off the treadmill. I run outside, scream to the phone, Mom! You understand? Like, I gotta come home right now. I'm gonna read you this email. I think he said I still love you. I'm wilding out. So my mom's like, all right, you gotta write him back. So we put something together to text back. Yes, I'm a girl. That's what girls do. So I'm coming back to New York, the city now, and I'm doing this big thing for BeautyCon New York City. And I'm a panelist, and he's flying to New York City that night. This is like 2 days after I wrote the letter. He's like, let's link up. So we link up, and I keep my makeup on and my BeautyCon outfit, and I lay across the bed like this. Like Dorothy Dandridge. And he walks in, looks completely different from when we first started dating, with a bottle of Stag's Leap. I was like, all right, Stag's Leap. I look outside, see what kind of car he's driving. Couldn't find it, didn't tell you that. And we talked all night into the next morning, until the next morning, until the next morning, until the next morning. And 7 days later, we were engaged.
Songs that remind me of who we are as a couple, the first would be John B, They Don't Know. The second would be Never Would Have Made It. And then the third, Golden, by her.
So one song is definitely Mariah Carey's Hero. We were just made for each other. I just tell him every day I wish he would have rescued me sooner. But maybe that wouldn't have been a good idea.
It's working out well.
Yeah.
It feels good.
I'm Chrisette Michele.
And I'm Doug Ellison.
And we are Black Love.
As a guy, you just get to college, you're a freshman on a football team, you know, the world is your oyster. Like all you see is women around you. You thinking like, I'm not trying to settle down with nobody, and then this girl that you have crazy feelings for tell you she love you, it's kind of like, oh.